Today is your real estate market update, and we're coming up on the end of February. I can't believe we're almost 2 months into 2025. I hope you're having a great start to your year. Today, we're going to look at historical trends in the triangle, what's going on today, and we'll finish up with some national information. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get right into it. I always like to start with the trend lines. We're looking at Raleigh, Durham, Cary, and the entire triangle MLS. We're looking at all construction types. So we're looking at new construction and resale homes. And right now we're looking at the average sales price, and each data point is 1 month's worth of data. So the latest data we have is as of January 2025. And when you look over here, you can see that every single area, Raleigh, Durham, Cary, and the entire Triangle MLS has seen an increase in the average sales price when compared to January 2024. So we're up year over year. When you look at month over month from December to January, Cary is the only town that is showing an increase in the average sales price. And the average sales price in Cary $743,000, Raleigh $562,000, Durham 455. I'm sorry. 454, and then the entire Triangle MLS 465. So that's what's going on with the average sales price in the Triangle. Looking at month supply, so inventory has started to creep up. That's not a bad thing. It's a great thing, actually, if you're a buyer in the market today. Raleigh, Durham, and the entire Triangle MLS are over a 2-month supply. Cary is still really low at 1.3 months supply. And you can see when we compare to January of last year, the month supply is higher than it was in January 2024, and pretty much every area saw an increase from December to January. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, yes, the month supply has increased. However, it's still 2.5 months supply of homes is still a very low inventory level. Our normal and balanced market is around a 6-month supply. So we're still a long way away from that. And I always like to point out that it's been probably over 10 years now since the Triangle has seen a 6-month supply. So this will probably start to change as we get into the spring months and the market starts to heat up a little bit. Days on market, you can see we've trended up from December into January. So 31 days on the market for the MLS, 34 for Durham, 40 for Cary, and 44 for Raleigh. So this means from the time a home came on the market, either active or coming soon, until it went under contract, in Raleigh it was about 45 days. That includes any coming soon period. So it used to be coming soon didn't count against you. It does today. So if you're on the market as a coming soon listing for 5 days, that's going to be included in that number. So something to keep in mind. This trend is pretty normal coming up from November, December into January, because we are in a slower time of year. So as we get into the fall and winter months, the market slows down. As we get into the holidays, January, February, usually slower months as well. And then we start to heat up as we get into March, April, May. Our market really trends up and heats up and then kind of trends down after May. And you can see we saw that same trend back here. So in January, we had everything was around a 30 days on the market. And then we started to trend down as we got into February and March. And when we got into April, we really kind of bottomed out, especially in Cary, only 11 days on the market before a home sold. And then we started to trend back up as you got into late summer, into fall, and so on and so forth. So this is a normal trend that we're seeing. Again, I anticipate we'll start to see these numbers come down as we go into the spring market. This is a great thing if you're a buyer today. It means you have a little bit more time. You're not going to be as rushed. There's less buyers in the market today, less likely to come up against some competition. So it is a great time to buy right now in these slower months. One of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about, a lot of folks are asking me about price reductions and what's happening with pricing compared to list price and closed price. So when we look at the percent of the original list price that a seller has gotten, and we're looking at the average here. So this is like what the home was listed at. Maybe they did some price reductions, but we're going to look at the very first price that a home was listed at, and we're going to compare that to what it closed at. So in Raleigh, it's a difference of about 4%. Almost 3% in Cary, entire Triangle MLS around 4%. So a little bit of a discount when you compare to the original list price. Now we are seeing price reductions across the Triangle as well. And when we look at the last list price that was on the listing and compare that to the closed sales price, you can see it's about half. So Raleigh's around 2%, around 2% for Durham, a little less than 2% for Cary, same thing for the MLS. So you can see once we compare, you have had some price reductions and you look at that last list price, you compare it to closed sales price, we're about 2% off from list price. So we're not seeing huge price reductions of 10% or anything like that. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially if you're listing today. That's why it's so important to list right from the start. And there are some sellers today that still want to push the envelope. And we're still in a seller's market when you look at the month supply of homes and the inventory available. But at the same point, we're not in that market where, mortgage rates were 3% and there were, every home was getting 30 offers. We're just not in that market anymore. So you really have to be smart about pricing today, and really hit that sweet spot if you want to sell it, quickly. And really, when you sell quickly, the quicker you sell, typically the more money you make. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are thinking about selling today. Homes available for sale, and I'm going to take the entire Triangle MLS out of here. But homes available for sale, you can see we've been trending. We trended up a little bit from December to January. We've seen an increase in homes available for sale when compared to January of last year. Again, great thing if you're a buyer. New listings also starting to trend up. We'll start to see this trend up as we get into the spring market, because a lot of people do wait until the spring market to put their home up for sale, because there's more buyers in the market at that time. But as a seller, I don't think it's a bad thing to list when it's a slower time of year, because you have less competition. So as we get into the spring market, more and more homes will come on the market. And not only will buyers have more competition, sellers will also have more competition. So that's what's gone on historically in the Triangle. What is going on today in the Triangle? Well, in Raleigh, Cary, and Durham, we have about 2,150 homes available for sale. This does include new construction. So if we isolate new construction, there's 723 new construction homes available for sale. A lot of these are quick move-in homes. So these are going to be homes that are currently either under construction, or maybe they're done. The builder has picked everything and they're just waiting for the right buyer. Sometimes builders do put pre-sale homes in the MLS as well. But I would say probably a lot of these are quick move-in homes that are somewhere in that stage of construction process or even done. And that is for Raleigh, Cary, and Durham. What's currently under contract right now in Raleigh and Cary and Durham? Almost 1,600 homes currently under contract. And of that, if we look at new construction, 554 are new construction homes. And finally, we're looking at homes that have closed so far this month. So it's the 24th of February, and 469 homes have sold and closed in Raleigh, Cary, and Durham combined. Last year, we sold 888. So we are definitely off last year's sales pace. And then when we look at new construction, 82 of that are new construction homes. So that is what's gone on today in the real estate market in Raleigh, Cary, and Durham. And I wanted to finish up with some information. Keeping Current Matters, it combines a lot of national information from different sources. It's just a great resource for me. I wanted to start out with a quote from Ramsey Solutions. Even though interest rates are still high, it's a great time to buy a house. The higher interest rates have priced some buyers out of the market, which means you could face less competition when you make offers, which we just talked about that. Plus, if interest rates do eventually go down significantly, you can refinance. We talk about that a lot. What are mortgage rates doing today? I like to use Mortgage Daily News. 30-year fixed is under 7% now at 6.87, and you can see this article that just came out today at 432. Mortgage rates start the new week at 2-month lows. So hopefully this trend will continue. Experts are saying don't expect rates to go down below 6% this year. I think latest projections I was looking at is that they'll be closer to like where they are now to maybe 6.5%. But we'll see what happens as we progress into this year. So why consider buying right now? We talked a little bit about this when we were looking at some of the market trends. Mortgage rates are higher, the winter weather, there's less buyers out this time of year, so you have less competition. There is definitely fear and uncertainty in the market today, and so that creates opportunity as well. And then a lot of times sellers who are on the market during the slower months, they have to move. So they may be more willing to negotiate. A lot of folks, if they don't have to move, they're waiting to put their home on the market until the spring. So these are some reasons why, if you're considering buying, if you're on the fence, you're not sure about rates, things like that, these are some reasons why you might want to consider buying during this slower time of year. And, buying in the off season may feel less rushed. So this is the long-term median days on market by month. Now, this is from the National Association of Realtors. So this is national data, and you can see January, February, and March and how they compare to April, May, June, July, for example. These, homes take a little bit longer to sell. We just saw that when we looked at the information for Raleigh, Cary, Durham, and the entire Triangle MLS. Homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. So, you can take your time, you can get your questions answered, you can maybe go see it again for a second time, go see some other homes, just make sure you're making the right decision. You have more time this time of year than you do when you get into April, May, June. So a lot of people think like, hey, spring will be a better time to buy because there'll be more homes available for sale. But you're going to face more competition. You're going to have to move a lot faster. And you can see, as this trend shows you, you'll have to move a lot faster when you get into the spring months and you're competing with other buyers. Prices are usually lower this time of year as well. And you can see same period of time, the first quarter, basically what home prices look like when they're compared to the rest of the year. So lower in the first quarter. So again, if you wait for that spring market, you could potentially end up paying more than you might today. So something to think about, again, if you're thinking about purchasing a home in the near future. Wanted to shift topics, talk a little bit about homeowner equity. So the average homeowner with a mortgage now has $319,000 of equity in their home. That's pretty amazing. And why is that? Well, it's because more and more people are staying in their homes longer. So from 1985 to 2008, people averaged around 6 years in their home. And then starting in 2009 to 2024, people average 9.3 years. And you can see the last 3 years, people have averaged 10 years in their home. So the more time you spend in your home, every month you're making that mortgage payment, you're building equity in your home. Every year we've seen home price appreciation, you're building equity in your home. Having a home is the number one way to build your net worth. So I just thought this was interesting. And then I also thought this map was interesting as well. If you look at the last 5 years, what has happened to home prices across the country? Well, nationally, they've increased over 57%. And if you just look at North Carolina, just over 72% increase in home prices. And you can see there's other places that have seen, not a ton, but some of the other parts of the country have seen that 70% or more percent increase in home prices. Americans are sitting on a tremendous amount of equity. Over 68% of Americans have either paid off their mortgage or have at least 50% of equity. So it's demonstrated in this pie chart here. So this 31.7% that has less than 50% equity, these are probably people that have bought relatively recently, and they just haven't built up that equity yet. If you have questions about, if you're local in the local market here and have questions about equity in your home, don't hesitate to reach out. If you want any information on your neighborhood or your city, feel free to reach out. If you are considering the Raleigh-Durham area and you want more information, check out my YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos on there, city tours, community tours, more videos like this. I look forward to talking to you again soon, and I hope you have a great day.